All right, welcome to Levi's Stadium, home of next Sunday's NFC Championship game by virtue of the 49ers beating the number 6 seed Minnesota Vikings 27-10 today. And Dieter, it was I don't think it was too surprising. I think both you and I thought they would win by double digits, but it was a little close there through the first half before the defense was as suffocating as we expected, before the run game kicked in the way they wanted to. 47 carries for the 49ers today. That was a heck of a lot for 186 yards. So just your overall impressions, first of all?
I can only imagine what this game would have looked like had Jimmy Garoppolo played better. The 49ers defense was vintage. It looked like they were in the first 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season. They were getting to Kirk Cousins early and often. The Vikings, at one point, it looked like they just gave up. They were tired. They were playing 2 games in 6 days. The 49ers were far and away the more physical team, and it showed up in the second half where the Niners ran away with it.
So this game, they brought back D Ford. He'd been out most of the past 6 games. They also obviously had DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa.
Yes.
And Nick Bosa, this was his playoff debut. He had 2 sacks, and he had a great moment where he had the crowd all breathlessly wondering if he was okay. And it turned out all he had was a wind knocked out of him before he got up. And Kyle Shanahan said afterwards that he milked it. And guys were giving him a good time about it. But a good debut by Nick Bosa, by a lot of these guys.
Well, you look at what also Quan Alexander, the linebacker, was able to do his first game back from a torn pec. You get Jaquiski Tart back there in the backfield, defensive backfield. They were able to mix up coverages way more. They were really cover 3 going into this game with Marcel Harris back here. They did a lot of 2-high stuff. Jimmy Ward had an outstanding game, but it was all up front. That's the identity of this defense. And they were able to get to Kirk Cousins 6 times and get home with him, and they didn't have to blitz once. That gave Robert Saleh a wide breath to kind of do whatever it was he wanted. And Kirk Cousins, he looked more and more rattled as the game went on. And again, just another way to dictate your will in January football.
One of the big moves that Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan made was to bench Ahkello Witherspoon after 2 series. They put in Emmanuel Mosley, who made 2 big third down stops, and it's pretty much, I think we all know now that Emmanuel Mosley is going to be the starting cornerback at right corner going forward. Nobody's officially said that, but we don't need to. Dieter, I think one of the bigger concerns out of this game is the running back situation. Obviously, Tevin Coleman went off. 22 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns a day. He had been a ghost the last 3 months of the season. But you saw him afterwards, and with Raheem Mostert had a calf strain or calf cramps. Matt Breida fumbles with about 2 minutes to go. Not good for Matt Breida's ball security issues. Where do things stand with Tevin Coleman as possibly being the mainstay back going into the NFC Championship?
Well, it's interesting. The bye week probably helped Tevin Coleman as much as anybody on this team. It looked like he had a little bit of juice left in those legs after the end of the season. It was just rough. He was running into the back of the line. He couldn't get a burst. Right. He had it tonight. And then you look at him after the game, I'm standing there with some other media members, and it was just rough going. It's a reminder of how difficult the game of football is. They've gotten 17 games in under their belt now. It's January. Everybody's banged up, but Tevin Coleman was struggling to even get his pads up into his locker. I don't know. They're all Warriors. They're going to get an extra day of rest comparatively to what their opponent will have, but I would imagine that they're hoping that Raheem Mostert's calf cramps go away pretty fast and that they can get Breida to hold on to the ball with 2 hands, because Tevin Coleman probably gave the 49ers his last bit of juice for this game, and they needed every bit of it.
All right, so we got next Sunday game here, 3:40 p.m., I believe. We've got a funny story we're going to post later about Joe Staley. Excited about the later start so he can sleep in because he barely slept last night, so he came to the stadium really early with Jimmy Garoppolo and Mike McGlinchey. They will be playing either the Seattle Seahawks, who 7 years ago, was it 7 years ago? 6 years ago, I think to the day where the Seahawks beat them in the NFC Championship game. Or that's right. Or it will be the Green Bay Packers who will be hosting the Seahawks tomorrow. So for Dieter and I, that is it from Levi's Stadium, site of next Sunday's NFC Championship game.